mysterious island erased from the map of the world where ancient natural laws still completely dominate. For centuries, an absolute silence was established across this hidden earth which no predator standard dared challenge. But today, the very soil of the island is shaking with a dangerous and unfamiliar structural tremor. King Kong, the sole protector and king of this specific jungle, senses an approaching threat in the air. This time, the terror does not emerge from within, but from two different corners across the vast ocean. The ruler of dense snowy mountains, the Yeti, has initiated a coordinated territorial invasion with grim resolve today. Alongside him, the largest mysterious predator of the swampy thickets, Bigfoot, moves forward with tactical precision and stealth. The atmosphere is filled with boiling ash-broken primeval trees and the scent of an impending catastrophic disaster unfolding. This heavy atmosphere indicates massive total destruction as the lines of primal dominance are tested today in this hidden earth. The deep jungle silence suddenly explodes like a storm as both titans rush out together toward Kong in a sudden ambush. Utilizing immense strength and unexpected speed, they launched an ambush, giving the Island King no time to recover or react swiftly. Bigfoot trapped the king's large arm structure from behind, restricting his standard defensive mobility options completely with his massive strength. Simultaneously, the Yeti exerted severe physical downward pressure directly onto his massive chest with heavy hands and unrelenting force. This dangerous dual constriction process rapidly drained vital oxygen from his lungs with every passing second and increased his physical pain significantly. His massive skeletal structure reached the absolute brink of collapsing under the relentless power of both predators and their unrelenting combined assault. Primal survival appeared completely impossible as the hierarchy of this ancient island ecosystem faced permanent alteration and complete upheaval today. However, the king's deep rage is his greatest weapon, which the rival invaders had underestimated completely in their bold and treacherous plan. Despite experiencing devastating physical pain, the giant primate activated his core natural intelligence to survive the deadly and devastating dual attack. He lifted a heavy sharp volcanic stone from the silt, utilizing unique primate tool usage behavior to create a vital advantage in the battle. This natural geological tool would become the critical element to disrupt the invaders' coordinated choke hold and turn the tide of the battle. He drove the stone with force into the lower cranial base near Bigfoot's sensitive nerve cluster, causing immense pain and disrupting his ability to attack effectively. A severe wave of pain surged through Bigfoot's body, forcing his tight grip to loosen immediately and giving Kong the opportunity to counterattack. Seizing the moment, Kong combined his massive hands into a double fist strike configuration for defense and unleashed his full fury upon the invaders. He delivered an extremely powerful strike directly onto the Yeti's jaw, breaking his forward balance entirely and sending him crashing to the ground. The white-furred titan crashed through centuries-old mahogany trees, landing far from the central clearing and out of the fight completely. The jungle clearing has completely transformed into a dangerous war zone where a fire of revenge burns brightly and the air is thick with tension. The territorial conflict reaches its absolute peak as raw physical power decides the supreme king of this land, and the fate of the island hangs in the balance. Utilizing his maximum power and primal rage, Kong advanced to execute the final phase of defense and protect his kingdom from the invaders. He lifted both invading titans simultaneously, displaying the ultimate manifestation of absolute physical dominance and control over the island. Kong hurled both rivals deep into the island's deepest and darkest cavern structure permanently today now, ending the threat to his kingdom. Their return from the shadows of this ancient subterranean chasm is rendered completely impossible within nature, and their threat is neutralized. The grand triple threat confrontation concludes with a total destruction of invaders and a secure rule for the king of this island. Covered in deep wounds, the victorious king emerges from the mud, seeking an elevated vantage point to survey his kingdom and plan his next move. He climbs toward a high Sarsab's rock platform as his respiration gradually returns to standard levels and his strength begins to recover. As twilight light falls, his eyes reflect the return of undisputed Badshahi over his prehistoric kingdom, and the king's reign is secured. Standing between the setting sun and rising moon, his presence announces supreme triumph across the territory, and his dominance is acknowledged by all. He releases a massive roar toward the sky, shaking the entire island perimeter with acoustic power and proclaiming his victory to the world. This roar declares that no matter how large the invasion, the sole king of Skull Island remains supreme and unchallenged. The ultimate protector stands firm, confirming that absolute dominance over this hidden earth remains Hamisha his, and his kingdom is secure. The unique landscape of the island is permanently modified by the extreme physical violence of today's fight, and the scars of the battle remain forever. Disturbed marsh elements settle once again into the mud as the valley returns to a quiet state and the memory of the battle fades with time. Life in the jungle slowly resumes as smaller organisms witness the aftermath of the Titans' war, and the cycle of life continues unabated. These jagged stone monuments have witnessed the fall of massive invaders and the rise of kings, and the history of the island is etched upon them. Scavengers descend from high altitudes to participate in the final chapter of this deadly struggle, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. Relics of the combat are slowly buried by the sands of time, becoming part of history, and the memory of the battle fades into legend. Tranquility returns to the territory, but the memory of the dangerous invasion will echo Hermetia here, and the island's history is forever changed. Even the strongest kings must tend to their wounds after surviving a lethal encounter with monsters, and the king's strength begins to recover. As dawn approaches, the predator's memory fades, and the sun honors the victors of final battle, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. Nature adapts quickly to violence, using the scars of the past as foundation for the future, and the island's landscape is forever changed. The waters are still once again hiding the memory of the giant predators that fought here, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. Even in the sight of destruction, new life begins to bloom, fueled by the rich soil, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. Walking through the ferns, the ruler re-establishes his daily patrol of the land he successfully defended, and the king's reign is secured. Standing tall, the ancient trees endure the passing of seasons and the violent wars of titans, and the island's history is forever etched upon them. The forest is alive with movement as the cycle of life continues under watchful eyes here, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. At night, the marsh reveals its eerie beauty, masking the violence that occurred beneath the moon, and the island's history is forever changed. Steam rises from cooling earth as the heat of the battle dissipates into darkening night air, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. The jungle canopy hides many secrets, but the story of the hunt will always be told, and the island's history is forever etched upon it. Small life forms emerge once again to claim their place in the cycle of nature today, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. Even the strongest kings must tend to their domain after surviving a lethal encounter with monsters, and the king's strength begins to recover. The moon watches over a kingdom that has successfully defended itself against the greatest of terrors, and the island's history is forever changed. With the arrival of dawn, the king prepares to patrol his vast territory once again today, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. The river remains a source of life for all creatures who call this mysterious basin home, and the island's ecosystem is forever sustained by it. The waterfall provides a moment of reflection for the ruler who has survived another day today, and the king's strength begins to recover. A king sees more than just a survivor in the reflection, he sees weight of duty and the responsibility of ruling the island. Light returns to the land, revealing the true scale of the prehistoric world where titans rule, and the island's history is forever etched upon it. Nature's small workers begin the task of reclaiming the site where massive primal titans fought, and the island's ecosystem is restored to balance. Even the most